There's a long, long tradition of singers, guitar players, actors, comedians, people getting together to travel through the countryside where there is no opportunity for entertainment in the evening. These traveling teams called drama teams for centuries have been a part of the rural landscape and the excitement in villages when they arrive. The war was really a lot about winning the allegiance of people in the countryside. The Viet Cong formed drama teams that traveled through the countryside at night and put on shows that slammed the Americans and the South Vietnamese. I went to our base on the edge of Hoang Thi. When I arrived at the front gate, there was no guard on the gate. The gate was open. In the watchtower above that, there was no one on the watchtower. I looked around the perimeter. No one was guarding the perimeter. I thought, the Viet Cong can just walk right in here. What's going on? And I hear the sound of music coming from one of the barracks. And I go in, and it's packed with all of our people, totally entranced by these two Viet Cong. They're still in their Viet Cong clothes on a little stage that they had made, and they are playing guitars, and they are singing beautifully a folk song of Vietnam. And our people have abandoned their fears in order to take part in this amazing show. Then our chief gets the idea that we have these two brilliant musicians now. We will form our own drama team, and we will call it the Love Team. The two people who had just come in from the mountains, their names were Phuong and Nguyen. They were the heart and soul then of the Love Team. They were really professional musicians. Act after act of modern music, comedy skits. My interpreter, Vin, was a big fan of Elvis Presley and dressed and had his hair and looked like Elvis and sang a lot of Elvis songs. Miss Locke, Miss Peanut, and it was an appropriate name for her because she was absolutely tiny. She must have been about 4'10" or 4'11". Super cute, a voice like an angel. She came from a village which was famous for tiny, cute girls who were also talented singers. We were hoping to try to win the allegiance of the country people. There were hearts and minds that were being won by these marvelous shows.
Hey, children.
While at the same time, there was this outpouring of joy and what a great night it's going to be, there was also the undertone of what are the Viet Cong going to do to respond to this? Will they be able to let this happen in their territory? So there was the night ambush part of all of this. We would go out and try to protect the show. The show goes on, and it's a magical event. I had the feeling while watching that it seemed like the war was over. What we did not know at the extreme edges of the village was something else. The Viet Cong went to the house of a man and woman who had decided not to go to the show, called the old man out, and shot him in the chest. At the other end of the hamlet, not long after that, another old man shot in the chest and killed. We discovered that they were probably passing intelligence to the South Vietnamese. The Viet Cong had known about it for a long time and chose this time to eliminate them, to show that it was still they who controlled out there, they who ruled the night. And so driving back to our headquarters in Hoang Thi City, I was with my interpreter, Vin, who had performed in the show. And while we are driving along and I'm thinking about the two old men who've been killed, Vin asks me, "You didn't tell me yet if you like my song." He did a Beatles song, Obla-di, Obla-da. And he said, I love those words about Obla-di, Obla-da, life goes on, brah. And there was something about him saying that, life goes on, that touched me so deeply that tears started streaming down my face. And he looked across the seat at me and said, what is it? And I said, I don't know, maybe it's life. And he said, maybe it's love. The love team is really, first of all, the word itself. The fact that in war, you can still have examples of love. That love can still make its presence known, even as you have two sides that are going out in the night to kill each other. A reminder that there is something else that could be going on here, that will be going on here once the war is over, and that's love.